I am done putting myself in a box. I am a very multidimensional person, and my whole life I've really gravitated towards anything artistic and anything that allowed me to be creative. Um, and music is my first love. Music is something that is very near and dear to my heart, and something that I have always envisioned myself doing and making ever since I was a kid. Music has always really speaked to me. However, I think that capitalism and celebrity culture has really impacted the way that musicians and creatives approach their craft. And I don't have any notes for this video. I just kind of want to flow and just let my thoughts come out however they want to. Um, but I figure that this would be a good video to make for this channel because since music is something that I have always really envisioned myself doing, I have felt a lot of pressure, and I have felt this feeling that if music is what I want to do, then music has to be the thing that let me rephrase. Since music is something that I've always wanted to do and something that I've always envisioned myself and my life revolving around, it's what I have felt my identity had to revolve around. Just music. Everything that I did and everything that I talked about, everything that I post about had to revolve around music and my craft, my my music. And I think this can work for a lot of people if you gravitate towards a certain niche and that's all you post about and you are able to continue posting about it, talking about it, and you never get tired of it. I think this is a good system for a lot of people. Um, but for me, um, I have quickly learned that forcing my identity to revolve around music has really burnt me out. I have made music for, well, I've always really loved to write, and I've always really loved to sing. I started writing stories when I was in fourth grade. I started writing this little story, this little book called The Adventures of Fred the Unicorn, and I still have the little notebook that I wrote it in, the little folder, and I drew like the characters and stuff and everything. So I've always really loved storytelling. Um, Eventually, when I got into middle school, I started writing poems. I still really loved literature and English. Those were my favorite subjects in school. And I started writing poems until I finally got my first instrument, which was a ukulele, in eighth grade. And that's when I started writing songs to my instruments. And then a year later, I got a guitar, and I really enjoy the acoustics of the guitar. So I started writing songs mainly on the guitar ever since. And so I don't remember what was I leading up to. I was leading up to something. Right. So that's a little bit of background about my uh how I got into music for anyone wondering. I just always really loved music. Um just as a kid, as a baby, just I really love sound. I really love how we can create sound and different worlds through sound, and it's always been my special interest. So I've always really envisioned myself as a singer, songwriter, as somebody who makes music and is known for that. But I also think that I'm at a point in my journey where I am questioning a lot of things and um how things are kind of set up for creatives, like the music industry, um and things of the sort. So, oh wow, I just saw, I don't know if that's an eagle or a hawk, but that's cool. It's kind of like doing circles in the sky. Anyways, so yeah, I started releasing music last year in 2025. I released my debut single Roller Coaster on September 12th of 2025, and I released my second single The Jester on October 27th, 2025. Ever since then, I have been working on three more songs to finish polishing and to, get ready for actually releasing it as a little EP of 5 songs. And what I have noticed, what I have learned in this journey of releasing music, finally releasing music after my entire life wanting that for myself, wanting to release music. That is something that I have always wanted to do, and I feel very, very proud of myself and very accomplished that I was able to actually do that. I feel very blessed and I feel very privileged, but there have been a lot of ups and downs in that journey, and I just want to talk about some of the things that have stood out to me, in my feelings, the emotions that have bubbled up um, in this journey. Um, so I started releasing music last year, and since I was starting to release music, I knew that I had to formulate and curate a social media presence, and a artist identity. So I started posting a lot on TikTok, and I really tried to post consistently across social media platforms to try to get reach and to try to get people to listen to my music, find my audience, etc., etc. And it felt really good. I found, you know, an online community that was very supportive, and people really resonated with my music and my lyrics, which I'm happy about, and I'm really glad that my music could find people that needs to hear it. But the more that posted on TikTok and Instagram, I just eventually reached a burnout point. I reached a point where I was so obsessed with posting because I was so addicted to the feeling of watching the numbers grow, watching my views grow, my likes grow, my follower count grow. And I kept posting to feel that feeling of, I kept posting to seek out external validation. It felt really good to know that my music was being heard and I was being validated externally. But I still felt weird inside. I still felt this inner friction. Um, I was posting ruthlessly and relentlessly, and it was working. It was working. I was getting streams and I was getting, positive feedback, which I'm grateful for, but it, I, it started to become unhealthy when I was relying on that external positive feedback instead of validating myself and being confident in myself and my music without needing to hear an applause. Knowing that I am worthy and my music is worthy, and me creating, just the act of me creating is enough. Um so eventually me posting my music and everything, it started to feel like a chore. I started to not enjoy it anymore, and it started to stress me out in some ways. So when TikTok got sold, that was my last straw, and I deleted TikTok for political reasons as well as my own mental health reasons. And I had TikTok deleted for a long time, months, and I didn't expect myself to come back to the platform, but I did about a month and a half ago, and I started posting again. But I wanted to shift my perspective, and I wanted to be more intentional with how I was posting, what I was posting, and really wanting to make sure that I was showing up in a way that was authentic to me and just posting what felt true, regardless of external noise. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure if what I'm posting feels authentic to me. I think some of them do, but I think I'm still trying to figure out who I am and what feels right for me. And everything is a journey, so I'm trying to, have patience with myself and understanding with myself. And I really, um, when I came back on TikTok and started posting more across platforms, I wanted to approach it less as a way of grinding and pushing and chasing, because that energy always left me feeling dissatisfied. Um, it was never enough. You know, the energy of chasing something, trying to get something, trying to reach something. It just always feels like you can never catch what you're chasing. And I think that also when you're trying to chase something, the more you're trying to force something, grasp something, the more that it kind of feels like it's running away. And So that's why I'm very against grind culture. I'm very against, pushing and grinding and hustling, because I think that that is not the frequency that I want to live my life in. I want to live my life in a way that feels good. I want to be able to be present and enjoy every present moment and just be happy with where I'm at and know that I don't need to chase anything because everything that is meant for me is already mine. And I think that I'm trying to really ingrain that in my soul and in my head, because grinding and hustling and chasing is not a sustainable way for people to live, especially creatives and artists. It's just not sustainable. I felt like I was trying to chase a career out of music, but the more that I was chasing and the more that I was trying to grasp that, the more it felt so far away. And it really burnt me out. The act and the energy of trying to chase something. So I'm done chasing. I just want to be. I just want to be myself and find a flow that works for me. And so, yeah, I'm trying to approach this social media journey with a different perspective and a different approach so that I don't burn myself out. Um, because I think it's very easy to burn out um, with all the external noise, all the external, yeah, all the external noise of people, saying, oh, you should be doing it like this, you should be posting that, you should be posting like this, you should be doing it like that. If you're a musician, do this. If you're a musician, do that. You know, it's like trying to follow a step-by-step guide or a step-by-step instructions. There is no guidebook for how you are supposed to live your life as your own individual self. And that is something that I am trying to learn. You know, I cannot copy somebody else how they're doing it, because how they're doing it works for them and it may not work for me. We are all unique in our needs. We are all unique in what we have to offer, what we have to share. And so one person's blueprint is not going to be the same for somebody else. So I'm really trying to lean into the things that I like and that I feel good doing. Um, and trust that the more that I lean into myself, the more doors will open up for me. And this kind of leads into my next point. I don't have a script or anything, so I'm really just trying to. This is all coming off of the dome right now, and it's a little bit weird for me because I'm a perfectionist and I like to plan things out, and I feel stressed out if I don't have a plan, but I'm trying to um be less of a perfectionist and just let myself be and let myself speak. Whatever comes out is what is going to come out. So I really don't want to be super rigid with myself. And I'm trying to heal that part of myself because I know that I tend to do that. I tend to be very strict and rigid with myself. Oh, if I'm posting this video, I have to do it like this. I have to tackle these points in this specific order. I am really trying to be done with that, way of being, because it just doesn't feel good. It just stresses me out when I set so many expectations for myself and like rules and guidelines and I can't reach them because obviously I'm human. And it just makes me feel disappointed in myself when I can't obtain those expectations, unrealistic expectations that I set for myself. So this is me just trying to be. This is me just trying to be. Um, but anyways, my next point was, you know, trying to lean into all of the things that I enjoy. Um, because I have learned that I am a very multidimensional person. I'm a multidimensional creative. I love music. I love music. But music is not the only thing that I love, and my life does not have to revolve around only music. And to, if I allow my life to revolve only around music, I am going to get stressed out and burn out. So I want to live a very well rounded life and take the time out of my days and my life to explore different things that I enjoy, right? So, for example, I love to paint. I want to start painting again. I haven't painted in a while, but I do want to start painting every once in a while again. I love to scrapbook. I love to make things and craft. I made these bracelets. I started selling them as well. Shout out to my Depop if you would like to support and, buy some candy bracelets. It's at Stoned Kitty Candy with two eyes at the end. Anyways, little shout out there, whatever. Um, I, yeah, I like to do a lot of different things, and I want to allow myself to do that. If I feel interested in something specific, I want to allow myself to, gravitate towards that, be curious about it instead of resisting it, and, the internal dialogue of, oh, I can't do that because I'm a musician. I can't, for example, I like to go to drag shows, and it's a very inspiring thing to witness. And I have met a very lovely community, and um, I have met a very beautiful, lovely local drag community. I love to go to drag shows and be surrounded by that energy. And I have, thought a little bit. I'm not saying I will, but you know, what if I start doing drag? I like it, and I should allow myself to be curious and to gravitate towards something that interests me instead of saying, oh, but I'm a musician. I can't do drag. You know what I mean? Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, and also doing videos like this, I think that I'm a very deep thinker. I am a ponderer. I be thinking about a lot of things, and sometimes I like to talk out loud about them, and express my thoughts and my feelings about different things. So I want to create an outlet for me to do that, to be able to do that, to express myself, to talk about the things that are on my mind, and, hopefully reach the people who also think about these things, or maybe help someone shift their perspective about certain things, you know, if, they are experiencing something similar that I've experienced. You know, these are, just my thoughts, and I think that it's very helpful to talk about these things out loud as well. So, creating this YouTube channel, I created this channel a long time ago, started posting just random videos. Most of them are deleted by now, but I still want to. I don't know if you could hear the background noise. Hopefully you can't, but my husband is playing piano, or he's on FL, one of the two. Anyways, yeah, so most of my videos are deleted by now. But I still, always feel this inkling inside of me that I want to be, like one of those YouTubers that just talk about things, maybe help other creatives and artists, share my perspective on things. I think that is valuable, um, because I love watching other people, talk about their perspective, and I value their perspective. I think my perspective is also valuable, and I want to share too, even if it's not in a musical, artistic way. You know, I am still creating a video, and just sharing my thoughts. And that's something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to have a YouTube channel, so instead of being like, oh, I can't have a YouTube channel where I just talk, it has to revolve around music somehow. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. So, if you are a multidimensional creative and you have a special interest, something very specific that you love to do, but you're starting to feel a little bit burnt out because maybe that's all you have been allowing yourself to explore. It's okay to explore different artistic ventures. It's okay to explore different things that you like, you know. It doesn't have to just be one thing. You are not just one thing. We are all so complex. We are all, honestly, I believe all of us are very multidimensional. Um, so yeah, I think we should all start leaning more into all of the different things that we enjoy, instead of feeling like, oh, we can only do one thing. We have to pick one thing and just stick to that. I think that is a very unsustainable way of living, and a very like boring way to live, and a very it just leads to burnout, honestly, in my opinion, especially if you are a neurodivergent person. Um and I also think it's very interesting, you know, I mentioned capitalism before and celebrity culture, but I think it's very interesting how the world has been set up in a way where, you go to school and da da da, and then once you hit high school, you're like, oh, you got 4 more years. You got to figure out what you want to do. You got to figure out the one thing that you want to do for the rest of your life because it's coming. You got to figure out the one thing that you want to go to college for and get a degree in, and then that's the field that you have to work in for the rest of your life. And I think that's just very stupid. I honestly think that's so ridiculous, and it just really sucks that we are, in this system that we didn't even like consent to. And it's just little ways like that. It's just little things like that that condition us, you know, into watering ourselves down, um, etc. I just think it's really ridiculous, if I'm being honest. I just feel like we're not supposed to just do one thing for the rest of our lives. Like, really? One thing? That's crazy. Like that, like genuinely imagine that. Like, okay, we're in school, and even though I really liked art class and I really liked literature and I really liked math too, and I like science and I like all of these different subjects, but we have to pick one thing and we have to do that and specialize in one thing for the rest of our life. And I think that, at first it can be really exciting. Oh, like, I'm going to be doing this. This is what I want to do, until you're in it and you're doing it. And then 5 years go by, 10 years go by, and, more likely than not, you become drained from it, from just doing the one thing. So that's why I think that more people, especially artists, neurodivergent creatives, I think that it's really important for us to have multiple things that we can kind of bounce off of, so that we can bring more balance and equilibrium in our lives and live a life that is more full and well rounded. Um, and yeah, um, hopefully that makes sense. I do want to also just talk a little bit more about the capitalism part in celebrity culture. Um, I have grown a very, distinct disdain for celebrity culture. And I think it ties into it because when we are young and I'm going to use myself as an example. My whole life, I've always wanted to be a singer. I've always really looked up to, celebrities that I really gravitate towards their art style, their visuals, etc., etc. I am prone to like parasocial relationships. Um, I have learned to kind of detach myself in a way from celebrities and stuff, but it is really easy to put celebrities on pedestals, and compare yourself to them and use that as a measure for measuring your success. The way that this world is set up and everything, especially in the music industry, it's like you don't make it until you are up on one of those huge stages and those big, um, what's the word? Y'all know what I'm talking about. A big sold out show, like that is when you know that you make it. And I think that it is very purposeful the way that society glamorizes celebrities, and makes us feel like we are less than those celebrities who have reached success. The truth is that success is very subjective, and um I don't think that it's sustainable to live a life of a celebrity either. You know, when I think about all of the different things happening in the world of celebrity, like, what's going on with Ariana Grande, and just thinking about how these people are put on such a, just, they are very visible. We can kind of look into their lives in a way. And I think that is very um dangerous for both parties, because I think that every human being deserves a sense of privacy, and I think that celebrities don't really get to have that. And sometimes I think about how, I've envisioned myself sometimes as somebody like these celebrities, like having the same visibility and having the same opportunities to play shows and stuff. I still want to play shows. I still want to share my music in that way, but when I think about the level of visibility that these celebrities have, that's a really scary thing. And I don't know if I want that for myself, because it looks good on the surface, like, oh yeah, like you're famous, like, oh, people look at you and admire you and everything, but we have to remember that these celebrities are human beings, and they are not better, and they are not worse than us. We are all human. We are all human, we are all capable of making mistakes, and I think that the difference is that the mistakes of these celebrities are put on a platform where we can all see it, and we can all, comment on it and give our 2 cents on it and dissect it. And that's a really scary thing, I think. Sometimes, honestly, I feel bad for celebrities because it's like they are not better than us, and we shouldn't expect them to be better than us. Um, we shouldn't expect more out of them just because they are on a platform. I think, they are very capable of doing stupid shit and making stupid mistakes. And as I am, and as you are, we are all, you know, none of us are perfect. And so I just really hope to see kind of like a shift away from celebrity worship and expecting different things out of celebrities. And I honestly would love to see a shift towards, more community based art and sharing of art and music, locally, and um, actually create a sense of real community and create a sense of real, genuine connection with people. Because I think that is something that is very important for everyone to have. We all deserve to feel like we are a part of something. We all deserve to feel like we have a community of people that we can depend on. We all deserve to have real, genuine connections and not surface level, you know. And I don't know if that's obtainable in a culture that worships celebrities and a culture in which celebrities even exist. I think that a lot of work has to be done, a lot of perspective shifting has to be done. And yeah, um, I think that's all I have to say. I hope this all made sense, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Um, let me know what you think. If you are a multidimensional creative, have you ever felt burnt out from trying to stick to one thing and trying to force your identity to revolve around one thing? Let me know what you think about celebrities, about celebrity cultures. Do you agree or disagree um, with my take on celebrity culture and celebrity worship? Um, and yeah, let me know what is one thing that you have been really gravitating towards but you've been avoiding subconsciously, maybe because you think that you can't partake in it because your identity has to revolve around one thing. Let me know if you relate, and let me know if there's anything else that you would like me to talk about. Um, and yeah, I wasn't expecting this video to be so long, but I guess I had a lot to say. I genuinely didn't even like have a script or anything. I started this video, like before I started this video, I didn't even know what I wanted to talk about. If I'm being honest, I was like, what do I even talk about? What do I even talk about? But I knew that I wanted to make a video because I always want to make videos. I always have things on my mind and things that I would like to share my perspective on. And yeah, I'm just trying to allow myself to just flow and do the things that, I like. Um, the things that I've always envisioned myself doing. Um, and yeah, I'm just trying to be less of a perfectionist, be less hard on myself, be less rigid with myself, less strict with myself. And I'm really trying to apply myself and take actionable steps towards, the life that I want to live for myself. Um, yeah. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching if you're still here. Um, and yeah, have a great rest of your day or night, and I'll see you guys in the next video.